Last week, in Parashat Pinchas, the daughters of Zelopechad, whose father died with no sons, went to Moses to petition him for ownership of the land that was promised to their father. He participated in no uprising. He was a good man, and without this land, they would likely be destitute. Moses and God confer, and they decide that the women are right, that they should get this land. However, in this week's double portion, Matot-Masei, the law allowing orphaned women to inherit is amended a bit. The daughters' male relatives challenged the ruling given in last week's parasha, saying that this challenge was to protect ownership of their tribal land. Moses responds by amending the law, saying that women who inherit ancestral land must marry into the father's tribe. This limits the women in their choice of spouse, but it keeps the ancestral property within the tribe. All of the daughters of Zelopechad agree and do accordingly. Looking at this, it is baffling that the daughters concede. They lost out on much of their power and land, and they didn't even bat an eye. What's going on here? It turns out their relatives had a point. This was tribal land, and if these women eventually married into other tribes, the land that ancestrally belonged to their father's tribe would change hands in a world where land is passed down through a patriarchal line. By marrying into their father's tribe, they allow the land to stay within the tribe it was promised to. This limited the rights of the daughters of Zelopechad, but it was more equitable for all of the people of Israel. This Torah portion is a masterclass on lawmaking and law amending. When the daughters of Zelopechad initially go to Moses, it is for their own gain, as many cases that go before lawmakers are. And it's initially granted. And yet, it was eventually discovered that this law could harm others and was thus amended. It illustrates a point that has been central to the Jewish world for thousands of years. We must make decisions based on the good of the collective. Personal autonomy and achievement is wonderful, but if it is hurtful to the rest of your group, it should be reconsidered. When the daughters realized that their deal could hurt their tribe, they did not hesitate to do as Moses said and marry in such a way that the land would be apportioned to the correct descendants. In a world where we are all encouraged to make decisions based on only our own good, I encourage you to be like the daughters of Zelopechad. When you are faced with information on how your choices can hurt others, do not be afraid to make a change for the good of your community.